Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video, we are going to go over all the palettes in my drawer of shame. So if you haven't heard of this concept, basically a drawer of shame is where your makeup kind of goes to die. Maybe you bought something new and you put it in this drawer, then you bought something new again. That was a little bit more exciting, so you ended up using that palette instead of the first palette, and it kind of just gets forgotten in the drawer. And then the drawer builds up, and all of a sudden your drawer is overfilled and you have two drawers in my case. So we're going to go over all of the palettes that I haven't used yet for one reason or another. I've quite the pile here to go over with you, so if you're interested to see all of those palettes, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get started. All right, I am really outing myself here, but these videos tend to be very helpful for me in just reminding myself how much I've been over consuming these past years, a decade, however long it's been since I've been purchasing and loving makeup. So it's a good reminder for me, and if I was on the other side watching this video, I just like seeing what's in people's collections. So hopefully you're here for that. And a lot of these I'm super excited to use, but there's only so many looks I can do in one day. I mean, I'm sometimes using palettes and doing 4 eyeshadow looks a day. A lot of people don't have the time to do that. I'm fortunate. Sometimes I do have the time to do that, and I love doing that, and I love playing and trying makeup. But even being able to do that, my pile of shame is just overwhelming. I've been afraid to count this pile because I don't want to know how many palettes, but we're going to do that today and compare it and find out what percentage of my eyeshadow palette collection I haven't tried, and just get into it, really. I mean, let's just talk about some palettes. This is going to be in no particular order. I grabbed them from my shelf there. You can see all the missing spots and just stuck them on my desk. And I'm just going to go from the top over. The first one that I have is from Glamlite. This is the Betty Boop palette. No reason that I haven't tried this other than there's some other ones that I kind of want to try more. When I purchase from Glamlite, I tend to only purchase during their Black Friday sale when their stuff is on like mega sale. So that's when I purchased this, and I need to do better because if I wasn't willing to purchase it when it was full price or even just like a little bit discounted, I shouldn't be purchasing it during Black Friday because clearly I wasn't so excited about it. Like, I liked this color story. I just didn't want to pay the price for it. And then when it was on sale for like $10, I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. And then it just adds to the pile. So that's something where I'm talking about this video is really helpful for me, especially coming up on sales season here. I need to like not do this again because a lot of my Glamlite palettes I purchase, I end up not using. Sometimes I declutter them, and you know, that's how it goes with this. We have a lot of indie brands to go through. I have 3 palettes from Adept Cosmetics, and this is also my problem because I will make purchases for brands that, you know, especially indie brands where maybe like my pile is building up. So I'll just buy all the palettes at once, and it's hard to use that many palettes at one time. So I have 3, like I said, from Adept. 2 of them I purchased last year at Black Friday. So I have the Flying Fiddles palette, which looks like this. I did really want this one right when it launched. I would say out of the 3 here, this is the one I'm most excited to use, but I just haven't had time. Then the other one that I purchased in that order was the Heather Austin. This was one where I kind of just wanted to see what the hype was about. It didn't really interest me, but everyone talked about how great this palette was. I would say this is one of the palettes that really got Adept's name out there. And that's why I just decided when I was making an order from them, I would just add this one on, see what all the hype was about. Did I need this? No, but now I have it. So I don't know. I still want to try it out. The shimmers are really pretty. I love the shimmers, but the mattes, I don't know. I'm not loving the mattes, especially like this mustard shade here. I don't really find how that fits in the palette. It's not my favorite or what I would choose for mattes, but that's okay. I'm still going to give it a shot. Maybe if you're interested, I'll do like 3 palettes, 3 looks. I like to do that by brand. So I don't know, that could be a fun one to do. Let me know down below in the comment section if there's any of these palettes you would love to see me do a review on so I can kind of prioritize them. I would love any kind of direction you can give me on where to start with this. And then the last one that I have from Adept is the Unity palette. This is one that I purchased because the sale was just too good to pass up. I purchased this for like $18. They were discontinuing this palette, and then there was some kind of sale on top of it. Like I said, I got it for like $18, and I was like, I like it enough for $18, but I have over 200 palettes. So did I really need this? Is it going to change my life? Probably not, but I have it now. I have quite a few from Lethal Cosmetics. So this I also purchased last year at Black Friday. Do we see a theme? I'm just realizing that now. So these were my 2 that I purchased last year for Black Friday, coming up on a year here. There's the Spellcraft palette, which is beautiful. Love the size of this. Love that it's a little book with a clasp. It's so cute. I purchased this full price because I really did want it. This is what they came out for holiday last year. And here's what it looks like. Love it a lot. I really enjoy this color story. It's a little dark and grungy, maybe for like everyday for me. It's not going to be an everyday palette, but I love Lethal's formula. It is really pretty and I'm excited to use it. I kind of really want the Conjuring palette from them. I love the color story on that, but I can't justify it with the amount of palettes I just have unused right now, especially the amount of Lethal palettes. The other one that I purchased at the same time was the Mellow Grove. And this is where it kind of tipped it over for me because this launched in spring of last year. And I immediately wanted this. Like, this is an everyday palette for me. It's light, it's airy, it's got a lot of different colors in here you could do a lot of different looks with. But I just haven't gotten around to it. I mean, that's the theme. I don't want to say it over and over again, but I want to use the palettes that are already opened and used because I want to love on my already opened collection. But I also try to find time, like split my time between the things I haven't tried. And, you know, it's always a balancing act. And the bottom line is I just need to stop buying palettes is what the bottom line is. But this is beautiful. Super excited to use it. I love it so much. It might be like my favorite color story actually that Lethal's ever come out with. I just need to like get my butt into gear. And then the third palette that I have untried from Lethal is from the Dexter collaboration. This I mainly bought for the IP because I do really love Dexter. I've watched that show start to finish probably like at least three or 4 times. And so for me, this was definitely like an IP that I love. And there's not very many, I would say, IPs that even if I don't like the color story, I would purchase it. There's this, I would probably purchase anything like Golden Girls themed if I liked it enough. I would probably purchase anything. I really love the show Psych, so that would be another brand or another IP that I would really gravitate towards. This one, I mean, it didn't matter what the color looked like. I was going to buy it anyways. I will say this is like kind of cumbersome, but for the IP, I had to have it, and I would still like to use it, even though it's not a color story that like I really, really love. All right, some one-off palettes that I have from Indie. Let's just keep going. I have the Wicked Widow Lovesick palette. Heard really great things about this. I actually haven't tried Wicked Widow Beauty at all, so I knew this was going to be the first palette that I tried from the brand. I just haven't gotten around to it because I tell myself like, oh, I need to wait for Valentine's Day, and then Valentine's Day comes and goes, and then I tell myself it'll be next Valentine's Day, and then that Valentine's Day comes and goes. So I just need to do like a fun pink look. Why can't I wear pink other than Valentine's Day? I don't see why I can't. So would really love to use this. It's a small one that I could easily knock out, no pan left behind, because I am trying to do that with my palettes. I will link my last update for no pan left behind up above, but this is a really pretty color story and I'm excited to use it. Another brand that I have yet to try that I purchased a palette from is Fantasy Cosmetica. I might be like one of the last people to try Fantasy Cosmetica, but I've yet to do it because there's so many other palettes I want to try. This one interested me right away, even though I'm not the biggest blue eyeshadow lover, something about this was just really pretty. I've heard really great things about this palette. So when I heard that they were going to discontinue this palette, I kind of jumped and grabbed it before I couldn't anymore. I didn't want to have FOMO on it. So I did pick it up, but I've yet to use it. This would be a good winter palette. I really need to use this before the end of the year. And I'm hoping it lives up to everything that I've heard about Fantasy Cosmetica, but at the same time, do I really want it to? Because then I'm going to want other palettes from them. I don't know. Some other just one-off indie palettes that I have is the Terra Moon. This is the Lovers of the Sun palette. I purchased this at the same time, actually, as the Wicked Widow when I was in America last in 2023. No, when I went to Louisiana, I've been to Arizona after that. But I purchased this then. I loved the color story. I love the swatches. I mean, this has really special shades. I don't know why I haven't used this. I don't have an excuse. I have no excuse because these are beautiful, stunning. They came out with two different palettes, these two little 6 pans. I didn't love the other one, so I didn't purchase it, but this one I thought was really pretty. I love the swatches. I was kind of, at the time when I purchased this, just buying indie all the time as much as I could get my grubby little hands on, and the swatches just made me swoon, so I ended up picking this one up. I have a palette from Glam Shop. I don't know how to say this, but this is kind of like their green palette. It looks like this. Now, I purchased another palette from Glam Shop that I actually did use No Pan Left Behind not too long ago, and I didn't love it. I ended up decluttering it, so I kind of need to prioritize trying this one to see if this is also one that I would want to declutter, but I don't think so because it has more shimmers than mattes, and it was kind of the mattes that I didn't love in that palette, and Glam Shop has really, really pretty mattes. I have some singles from them that I really love, so I don't think that this will be a palette I want to declutter, but it definitely is one I need to try sooner rather than later to see if it's one that like belongs in my collection. Do I have other palettes with like this grungy green color story? Yes, but again, like Glam Shop has really pretty individual shimmer shades, and I think that this will be worth it. Next one in my pile is from Micka Beauty Shop. They are a French-based indie brand, which is why I love to support them. Can I just say how much I love the cover art on this? I love when it's like deathly but delicate and beautiful and feminine. I don't know, really love this cover art. For whatever reason, I'm drawn to it, but this is what this palette looks like, and let me tell you, I bought this last year on Black Friday. So I've yet to use it. I purchased 2 palettes in that order, and this is what this one looks like. I think this is a really pretty palette. I think that Micka Beauty Shop for indie is very, very beginner friendly. The mattes aren't too pigmented. Where there's color, you can sheer it out and really build it up. They're very soft and buildable shades. They aren't as punchy as sometimes some indie mattes can be. I really like them, highly recommend. And then their shimmers are super punchy and impactful, and just that metallic shimmery sparkle that you want from indie. So I do recommend them if you're on the hunt for some just beginner friendly eyeshadow formulas from indie. I just need to use this. It adds to the pile, and the pile is high. So this is another one, but clearly like I can't be trusted around Black Friday because I guarantee it won't be the only order still that I have left from Black Friday. In that same order, I have the Forever Young palette, which is kind of like bright neutrals. Mine looks like this. It's kind of bleeding a little, like has some oil spillage, but that's fine. That's typical sometimes. And I just love how this is color, but it's very small and condensed. You can go down in rows to create kind of like a monochromatic look. I think it's really pretty. If I'm going to do color, I want like a mid-tone with a deepening up shade and then an all-over shimmer. So it's the perfect compact color palette for me. I don't want a 50 pan eyeshadow that's full of rainbows like Blend Bunny is really well known for. This is what I want. This is what I want. It's perfect. I like it. I didn't hop on it like right when it released, but during Black Friday, I purchased both of those Micka Beauty Shop palettes. Continuing on, I have some mainstream. So we can talk about mainstream for a minute and kind of swap on over. Is this the only mainstream I have? No, let's kind of move this around so I can do all of mainstream at the same time. I only have 4 palettes that are mainstream. The rest are indie. First one being the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. I purchased this during one of Natasha Denona's sales. I didn't buy this right away. I mean, that would be sad. This palette's been out for quite some time. But I started kind of just really enjoying all the Natasha Denona middies, and I wanted to complete the collection a little bit. So I ended up picking this one up, but it's a little bit sad that I haven't used it. A lot better of a color story than I expected once I saw it in person. When it first came out, like I said, I wasn't really interested. I thought it was going to be way too warm toned. So in person, it's not as warm toned, or maybe my preferences have shifted a little bit. That's also could be the case. I just don't find it as bright and orangey as the Sunset or the Bronze palette. So really excited to use this. Just need to get around to it. I would like to rank all of my Natasha Denona palettes. I did that maybe like a year or 2 ago. I will link that video up above, but it definitely needs to be updated. I have a Chanel quad. This was actually a gift from my husband for Valentine's Day 2 Valentine's days ago in 2024. This is it was limited edition. It was 388 Eclat de Nuit. And it's a really cool tone, kind of navy silver color story. I think the problem with this one is I just told myself like I need to wait until a special occasion to wear it. That special occasion, who knows when that's going to come, so I should just try it out. It looks really beautiful. I've decluttered some of my Chanel quads. I've been trying to downsize my collection a lot, and this is one that I do want to keep. I think it's like a little unique color story that I don't really have in like a really small palette. So it is one that I'm going to hang on to, but I also need to try it. Like that would be good. So we have that one. And then the 2 other mainstream ones I have, the next one is from Nars, and I believe this was the Climax palette. This came out holiday one year. And I actually talked about this palette in a video I did of palettes I regret not getting or that I missed out on. So this was discontinued shortly after. I mean, Nars is really famously known for not having their products around too long, and I kind of wish that I had gotten it. After I did that video, I had a friend who had an unopened one, and they so kindly gifted it to me, so I'm very excited to have it. I need to pull this out during holiday time and just use it because I wanted it and lusted after it so bad. So it's just a shame that it's been sitting in my collection unused, but it's really pretty. Nars is also a brand where I've decluttered quite a few palettes from them over the years, and I don't really plan on purchasing them from them in the future. Not because of anything moral, just more along the lines of I find that they're not really an exceptional formula. I don't find myself really like falling in love with their palettes. I just end up kind of decluttering them over time. So I'm trying to just not buy from brands where I tend to do that a lot. And then the last mainstream one I have, I'm pretty sure, nope. The second to last mainstream brand that I have is from ABH. I have an unopened Sultry palette. Yes, I do. Why? I don't know. Just do. But I really want to use it. I cannot declutter it. Here's what it looks like. A lot of people missed out on this palette. They wish that they had gotten it. So I'm very thankful that I have this. I just really need to pull it out. I think I just need to go through my palettes and pick like 10 that I want to use for holiday time. Like this would make the cut, the Chanel, the Nars, some of the other ones that I've talked about. And then also do the same thing coming up when it's springtime, pull out like 10 spring palettes that I want to focus on and really actually commit to that, I think would be a good idea. Because sometimes I just feel a little bit lost. I look at my bookshelf, like what should I wear today? What should I use? Hello, Eris. And then I end up pulling for something that's just kind of safe. I don't know. I thought maybe I left my door open in case my dog wanted to come sit on my futon, but she thought about it and she decided not to. Now the last, oh God dang it. Now the second to last mainstream brand. Oh God, this is embarrassing. Okay, let me just make sure. Because I try to go through all the mainstream and then I kept missing them. This is the second time I've done this. Okay, I officially have 2 more mainstream brands to talk about. Next one is Stila. This I purchased because Smoky Glow used to rave about this palette, and it just looked so beautiful. let me just say, this is a hefty palette. It is called the After Hours eyeshadow palette. There were 2 of these, and I bought the more neutral pink one. Looks like this. This is like mothership packaging. I mean, it is as heavy as that. Here's what it looks like. I did think about decluttering this one, but my neutral lover heart just can't. I want to try it out. I know that these shades will just be everyday neutral shades for me. And I've had it so long at this point, I can't bring myself to declutter it. I've decluttered some palettes recently that I didn't think I would ever declutter in my entire life, and I did. But this one I'm just not there yet for. I loved watching Smoky Glow when she was making videos. I wish she was still making videos. She's definitely like a comfort creator for me. Totally fine that she's not anymore. Like, she's got to do what's best for her, but really did love that time in my life where I was watching her videos a lot. And then the last mainstream palette that I have is another really old, embarrassing one. It is the Tartelette Juicy palette. This was the original because they came out with this palette, and then after that, they re-released this in their typical 12-pan small palettes, kind of like the Tartelette in Bloom. But everyone said that the formula in this one was better, so I hung on to it. And this is also one where it smells amazing, and it's just really neutral, where I know I'd get use out of this palette if I would just get off my dead ass and actually use it. So I kind of still want to keep this one around. I don't know. I've been grappling with myself if this is one that maybe I should declutter, because it is a palette that I know another person could get some use out of. It hasn't been used. It hasn't been swatched. It hasn't been anything like that. So maybe it is time to get rid of it. I'd say out of all the ones I'm talking about today, this is the one that I still think about whether I should declutter it or not. But right now it stays. And then those are all the mainstreams. I feel really confident saying that now. Let's go back to indie and go with some one-offs, ones that I don't have multiples from the brand. Kaima Cosmetics Skull and Roses. This was their first eyeshadow palette Kaima Cosmetics came out with that I would say kind of got them a little bit more talked about. I'm not currently purchasing from Kaima Cosmetics, but I do still have this palette, and I bought it at the same time that the Bougie Boudoir came out. I skipped this one originally. Bougie Boudoir came out, and I was like, I have to try this brand. I have to try this palette, and then I just added this one on top. But I've yet to use it. And I don't know, I kind of actually might declutter it, mainly just because I'm not, like I said, purchasing from the brand right now until I feel like they kind of make some amends for the things that they've done and said. So I don't know if I love this color story enough to keep it. And yeah, I just decided right now I'm going to declutter it. The shimmers are beautiful. Like, I love the Bougie Boudoir palette. I really, really do. A stunning palette, and I would recommend it if I liked the brand more, but right now I just don't. And I think this one can go to a better home. I might as well declutter it. One from Gloss Gods, I have Dancing in the Sky. I think this one's tough because I love Gloss God for their special shimmers, but an all shimmer palette is hard for me to reach for. And I think that's why I haven't reached for this one yet. I just don't typically go for all shimmer palettes. I like to just use one palette and be done with. So while I love all these shades and they're so pretty, I love the greens. This is one that they continuously bring back because they say that it's gonna be discontinued, and then everyone's always asking them for it, so they bring it back. I got it on one of those times that they brought it back because I did get FOMO over it, and I just haven't used it yet, and it's a shame. It is a shame. This is going to be on my list for holiday, I think, because all these sparkly shimmers will be perfect for holiday. Gloss Gods has such a nice shimmer formula. Again, if you're looking for like European indie brands like Micka Beauty Shop, Gloss Gods, if you find a color story you like, go for it. Their shimmers do not disappoint. I have a palette from Arttitude Cosmetics. This is the Metamorph palette. This was one where I love the cover, and I just knew that this is a fantasy self palette. I am not as into color as some other people. I'm a neutral lover at heart. I want to be one of those really fun, creative eyeshadow look people. I'm just not. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to my eyeshadow. I don't see very well. My eyesight is very poor. I have to, you know, sometimes I wear glasses. Most of the time I wear glasses. I wear contacts so I don't get the glare from my glasses when I film. But the eye doctors told me unless I've gotten LASIK, I'll just never, even with glasses or corrective eyewear, I'll never have 20/20 vision because of the way my eyes are shaped. If they correct each eye correctly, then I will see double. He even showed me like how that would happen because of my stigmatisms. So even when I'm wearing my contacts, like I don't see well. And I feel like when you're doing your eyes, you need to have like good detail eye work. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's the excuse I tell myself. And I'm just not as creative as I want to be. This is still a beautiful palette. I want to keep it. It was one I lusted over, and I love Arttitude Cosmetics. I actually did a video, it'll be linked in the description box, where I tried 3 palettes and I did 3 looks from them. The first time I tried their brand, I used the Vintage Neutrals, the Urban Neutrals, and the Ink and Roses. All great palettes. Purchased all 3 of those palettes, loved them so much that that's why I ended up going for this one, because I wanted it. I don't know. I guess this one also is a little bit on the chopping block because I'm really trying to get my numbers down. And if I'm honest with myself, this isn't one where I'm going to rely on this palette and get my like use and money's worth out of this palette. So should it still stay in my collection right now? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm going to put it in the Kaima Cosmetics pile actually and decide a little bit later. It's going to stay there. Okay, now I have some palettes. Well, here, this is a one-off. I should have organized this better, basically, when I was setting up this pile. Okay, I feel better about this. I think we're good. I have 2 more one-off palettes and then some groupings from my favorite brands. So I have the Dieverune Cosmetics. This is the Magnetic Mineralia palette. I just purchased this pretty recently. I talked about it in my October purchases and empties. So I haven't had this that long. And I haven't tried Dieverune Cosmetics. So when I saw them release this palette, this is the one that I knew was going to be my first palette from them. I'm very excited to use this one. I'll give myself a little bit of grace on this because it hasn't been in my collection for months and months and months. I just got it last month and I'm very excited to try it and see what all the hype is around Dieverune Cosmetics. I kind of like their new one too. I forgot what it's called. Something but Botanicals. I think that's really pretty, but it's one that I'm going to pass on. I can admire it from afar and not add it to this pile of shame. Then the last one that I have that's kind of just a one-off from the brand is also a brand that I wanted to try, Electrum Cosmetics. This is Midnight Moth. I've spoken about this before, but this palette was a pre-order and then it took like 4 or 5 months to actually get to me. I think what happened is by the time the pre-order came, the owner of the brand was sick, so she kind of delayed it, something like that. And by the time I got it, I just had too many other palettes to try, and I just haven't been able to get around to it. But this looks stunning. And this is very fall, earthy, just like dark, kind of cozy palette. So this will also be in my list of ones to try to use before the end of the year, before it's like spring, and then I tell myself I'll have to wait until next fall. So I'm going to try and prioritize this one. It looks beautiful. The shimmers look beautiful. I'm very excited to try this brand and just try like some more smaller indies. I mean, indie right now I feel like is a very broad term. There's kind of just like that Blend Bunny indie kind of company, and then you have like Electrum, which is very, very small. So I'd like to try some more on that smaller end and give those a chance and just, you know, kind of support some creators that way. Okay, we have 3 more brands to talk about. Wait, let me make sure. 1, 2, 3. Yes. 3 more brands to talk about, but quite a few palettes to go over. So I have Simply Posh Cosmetics, and I have 2 palettes from them in my pile of shame. Purchased these at the same time, I'm pretty sure, when Snow Angel released. So this came out last year for winter time. Looks like this. This is so pretty. I can't wait to use this. I don't know why I have it, except I do. I just haven't had time. So this is what this one looks like. Simply Posh Cosmetics is one of my favorite indie brands. I just think that their quality is really great, and I love the simplicity of how they lay out their palettes. It really just knocks it up for me in terms of brands that I like. I don't know what it is. It's just very aesthetically pleasing to me. It's satisfying all those just trigger words that mean I like a brand. So I really need to use this one. This is on the list for sure of ones that I need to use. I don't think that I'm going to pick up the Gingerbread House palette they just released. I would normally, like 6 months ago, Melissa would have purchased that palette because I love this brand so much, but I am going to pass on it because I don't love pastels as much, and that kind of seems like a wintry pastel palette. And then I also have the Coastal palette. I purchased this kind of late. Like, this is kind of a summer palette, and I purchased this well after summer. So I told myself I'd use it next summer, but we'll see. We'll see come next summer, but this is really pretty. I also did not purchase the Down to Earth palette, I think it was called, because I found it a little bit too similar to this one. And since I can't even use this one, I don't think I can justify buying the other one. But like I said, 6 months ago, I would have. I really love this brand. I cannot speak highly enough about this brand. One of my favorites, and that's why I have more than one palette that's unused. These other two brands I also really, really love, which is why I have multiple palettes from them that are unused. So the first one we'll talk about is Glaminatrix. I have 3 palettes I've yet to use from them. The first one being Nocturnal. So it looks like this. This is actually quite an old palette from Glaminatrix. They just recently kind of resized it and made the pans a little bit smaller, which I think was so smart. This is the perfect size. I love the small pans because I'm never going to go through an entire pan of eyeshadow. I do a lot of panning content on my channel, and I can't even hit pan on an eyeshadow, so using up an entire palette, I'd rather just get less product. This is really pretty. Can't wait to use this one. I recently bought this Crown Legacy palette along with the Dieverune Cosmetics, so this hasn't been in my collection too long. This is the Crown Legacy palette from Glaminatrix, their most recent palette, I want to say. And it's very, very pretty. I love the desaturation. I love Glaminatrix, as I already said. Their shimmers are spectacular. Not as like punchy, bam, in your face shimmers like some other indie brands, but just really good. They're more sparkly. They're more sparkly shimmers, and I love it. I love the sparkle that they give. Transformative. The mattes are easy to use, so I'm very happy with that. Can't wait to use this. And then I also have the Tones of Turd palette that they first sneak peeked as a April Fool's joke, and then they finally came out with it. I think I purchased this on the second pre-order, and it took a while to get to me, so I haven't had time to use this, but I have had this for a couple of months now. Part of me wonders, like, should I also do with Glaminatrix, like 3 palettes, 3 looks? Maybe that's a video idea if you want to see some inspiration with this palette. If you don't like the Potty palette, they do have the Grounded palette, which is exactly the same, just doesn't have, you know, the poop theme to it. So I thought that was funny though, personally. To each his own. And yeah, really pretty, practical palette. Very warm toned. I'm not super into warm tones, but this one was one I just had to have it. It was just too funny. And then the very last brand, and clearly one of my favorite brands because I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 palettes of shame from this brand, Bella Beaute Bar. Love them. Have a lot of palettes from them. But I also have some that I need to just get a move on and try. Some of these I did just recently purchase, like the Crown Legacy. They were in my last month's purchases and empties, like I already mentioned. One of those being the Unoriginal Nudes. I knew I had to have this once this palette launched. I mean, nudes, all about it. Mean Girls themed, all about it. So pretty. I wish it was a little bit smaller. Like, I don't love this last row here, but the rest of it, it's actually very reminiscent, now that I'm looking at it, to the Bougie Boudoir that I talked about. Very similar tones, but probably way better quality. And there's nothing bad to say about this palette. I kind of haven't prioritized it because I do have just neutrals everywhere, and I know I'm going to love this palette, so it hasn't been the top of my priority list, but it'll get there. It'll get there. I also have the Green Goddess palette. This one I purchased and sent to family in Arizona, and then they brought it to me when they came to visit. So that's a part of why I haven't tried this palette yet. This actually might be the Bella Beaute Bar palette that I'm most excited to use. I don't know what it is about this color story. I just love it. I love it so much. I really do. I love the packaging to it. I think it's so earthy and just beautiful. I really do. This is my #1 Bella Beaute Bar palette that I want to try first. And I probably will, because I think it goes well all year round. I do, by the way, have an affiliate code for Bella Beaute Bar. It is just Melissa. If you ever want to save money off their direct website, use my code, use a different code. It doesn't matter to me. Just save some money if you're going to purchase from them. The next one that I have is the Smoky Glam. I wanted the original version of this when it first launched, but it was so big that I knew I don't buy those big of palettes, even if I love the brand. I'm really, really hoping that they kind of do a revision to the Secret Garden palette, because that is a palette I also really want. If they come out with this size in the Secret Garden, I will be immediately on that, but how can I say no to this? I mean, this is stunning. Again, I could do without that last row because I don't love dark tones. Like, this is dark enough for me, but I realize, that's not everyone's preferences, and this might be my second one that I'm excited to use. I don't know. It's tough. I love all of these. I just do. All right. Next one from Bella Beaute Bar. We have the collaboration with Newport. This is the Coalescence palette. This I purchased at the same time as the Crown Legacy, as the Unoriginal Nudes. And it looks like this. I think Newport does amazing content. I love watching her content, and I also just love the color story. Even if I love the content creator, I won't necessarily purchase the palette unless I know I'm going to use it. And I think this is really unique and special. When I use this, I really want to do like a deep dive and watch her videos on how she layered these different shadows and just her thought process behind the palette, because I think that she put a lot of thought into this and how to create more shades, more colors than you just see in the pan. She does like to layer shades a lot, so I kind of want to watch it and just see all of her different color combinations before I try this palette out. But that also means it's going to get pushed aside, and I'll procrastinate on it. So I really just need to crack into this while I can. And then my very last palette, my last Bella Beaute Bar palette that's untried, and just my last palette to talk about today, is one that I purchased when I purchased this palette. So it was in that same order recently last month. It is the Bella Beaute Bar Ultraviolet palette. This is not a new palette whatsoever, but I was kind of making a big order, as you can tell. I bought the Crown Legacy, I bought the Dieverune, I bought the Unoriginal Nudes, the Coalescence. So I was like, let's just do it. Let's just add one that I've kind of wanted. And I did. Here's what it looks like. Now, if you watch my purchases and empties, you'll see the story behind this shadow. For whatever reason, they didn't send me this shadow, but it's being sent to me now. It's going to my sister in Arizona, and she'll bring it to me in December time. So I'll finally have a complete palette. Maybe it was just a mistake. I don't know, but I'm getting the shade at the end of the day, so I'm fine about it. Love purples. I love purples, and I love these like cooler tone purples. I don't really love like warm tone fuchsia purples, so really excited to use this. I've heard really nice things about this palette. It's a little bit monochromatic, but I'm telling myself that the pans are removable and I can create my own color story, because I'll totally do that, right? Right. Okay, so those are all of my palettes of shame. Should we count them and find out the percentage of my collection that I haven't even tried? Let's do that, shall we? I'm going to count these really fast. $34. All right, I have 34 palettes. I was hoping it was going to be more, around 20. I have 34 palettes in my collection that I have yet to use or try. Now, the last time I've looked at my spreadsheet, I have 228 palettes in my collection. I know that number's gone down only because I have been decluttering here and there. Like I said, I've decluttered these two palettes. Well, maybe this palette, but I've decluttered the Kaima Cosmetics kind of on the fly here. So I've been doing that off camera a lot. I know it's going to be lower, but we're going to go with the 228 is what I'm saying. And I don't know what that percentage is, but I'm going to put it up on the screen here and we're going to find out what that percentage is. Well, I'm going to find out first, but you're seeing it on the screen now. Whatever it is, it's too much. If I had like 10 palettes unused, I would actually be okay with that number, only because I do like to make these videos with you. I have, you know, like this is a hobby for me and kind of a fun outlet, a fun creative outlet. So if it was 10 palettes, I wouldn't be upset, but 34 is too much. And I really need to rectify that. It is my number one kind of goal for 2026. I've already started it now, but it's what I'm really going to focus on in 2026 is kind of just buying less, and trying to like core down my collection to things that I know I'm going to use. It's nice to have a colorful palette, but I don't need 15 colorful palettes because I'm not going to use 15 palettes within a year. Like I could have 2 or 3 colorful palettes and those are my favorites and those are the ones that I use and stick with, but I do need to just kind of give my overall collection a little bit of a think. I'm going through a lot of just life changes right now, which is kind of really starting this new thought process of mine. Not necessarily new. It's kind of been bubbling. If you really watch my content, it's been bubbling for some time, but I'm really just starting to want to take control a little bit of my collection and not let my collection take control over me. So that's my soapbox spiel. Thanks for listening. After that though, I would love to hear if you have a drawer of shame. Do you have any palettes in your collection that you have yet to try? Is it a lot? Is it a little? Or are you just the perfect person who has 0 and you do a lot better than me? I'd love to hear either one. I hope that you have no palettes in your drawer of shame, honestly, truly. I really hope you do. But after that, this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.